Why does money make us crazy? I'm thinking how crazy it's made me. I'm still affected by money or not having money from things that happened long, long ago. I'm thinking I was 12 years old, seventh grade. I just had lunch in the cafeteria with my buddies. My buddies and I are hanging out at the quad, and the snack bar lady opens the window of the snack bar because she's going to sell ice cream. And my buddies, they bolt for the snack bar because they want to be first in line. And they're my buddies, so I bolt with them. But in the middle of running to the snack bar, I realized I got no money. I already spent all my money on the cafeteria lunch. I don't have any money for the ice cream, so I stopped. And I heard this girl, her name was Kitty Carson or Kitty Kelly or something, a little elf-like girl sitting up on a tree limb nearby. And she goes, "Ah! Jeff doesn't have any money." And she laughed at me. And in that moment, I was humiliated, emasculated, stripped of my pride. It was like in that one moment, my not having money for the snack bar, it defined me. And that happened in 1973. And we're in 2016 now. And sometimes when I'm in bed and I'm half asleep and I'm enjoying a nice lucid dream state, that Kitty Carson or Kitty Kelly's voice, that apparition will go, "Ah! Jeff doesn't have any money." And I wake up in a sweat and I go, "Oh!" And, money makes us insane. It defines us probably too much. When you go to a club and you want to meet women and you're single, there's pretty much three questions that are asked. What kind of job do you have? What is your level of education? What kind of car do you drive? And then various inferences are made based on that information, because we're being defined by money probably too much, and it makes us go crazy. I mean, I still have the demons of being laughed at for the snack bar incident. And the other thing about money is having money allows you to belong to what you perceive to be the desirable tribe. If you want to get a very desirable job in the tech industry in San Francisco, the people who are going to hire you are going to be young, they're going to look hip, they're going to have certain types of clothes, they're going to have certain types of tech equipment, they're going to have a certain type of language, they're going to have a certain type of reading background, and it's just natural tribalism that they're going to hire people who remind them of themselves. If you don't have money, if you don't have dental work, if you don't have the money for hip clothes or really good clothes, and you just don't have any of the things in common with the guy who's going to hire you or the woman who's going to hire you, you're out of luck, because money allows you to belong to certain tribes, and not having money excludes you from those tribes that you desire to belong to. Money makes you insane. I know a lot about how money changes you, because I was, the first 3 years of my life, my parents were very young when they had me. I was raised in the Flavette projects of Gainesville, Florida. My father was studying engineering at the University of Gainesville, and my parents sold their blood to feed me. Now, according to my parents, I had a voracious appetite, and I was always hungry, and cockroaches would scurry over the tray of my high chair, and I'd clobber them, and I'd try to eat them because I thought they were chocolate bars. And it wasn't very pleasant living in the Flavette projects. So my dad gets his engineering degree, and with a phone interview, he gets hired a really good position at IBM in San Jose. We get the hell out of the Flavette projects and we drive to San Jose, and suddenly we live in the Royal Lanai apartments in San Jose. Royal Lanai. Believe me, it did not get past me that the word royal was now part of my new living arrangement. Oh, I was very well aware of it. Things had changed. All this volcanic rock and palm trees and palmettos everywhere. I felt like I had moved from hell to heaven. And I remember going with my mom once a month to bring $100 to pay the rent. And I go, wow, we must be rich. We're paying $100 a month to live in the Royal Lanai apartments. And so like a few years later, we got a house in San Jose. an actual house. And my mom started having Tupperware parties. She started selling Avon products. She dyed her hair blonde. She wore mini skirts. She wore white go-go boots. I was convinced that we had achieved the American dream. I was like 7, 8 years old. I was like, we were at the top of the mountain. I remember my father, he bought a bottle of gin, and it came with a white sack, a white cloth sack with a drawstring. And he said, son, you can collect coins in the sack. And when the sack is full, you can spend them on what you want. And so I developed this obsession, this joy of amassing the coins, and the sack was getting heavier and heavier, and coins were bulging out of it, and I was holding it. And it reminds me now of the movie Lord of the Rings, Mordor, where you hold the ring and hell breaks loose, and you could feel desire being stimulated in ways that you become completely unhinged. I remember holding that sack. And I remember I showed it to my father. I was proud. Look, it's time. What do you want to buy, son? I want to buy some Matchboxes. I loved Matchbox cars. Back in the late 1960s and early 1970s when I would purchase Matchboxes, I believe they were built in Britain, and they were really very good quality. I think the ones you buy now are pretty trashy, that's my understanding. I wish I would have kept those Matchboxes. So I bought some Matchboxes with the money. I had some money left over. And man, money makes us crazy. I had some money left over, just a little bit. And my parents took me to some shitty chain restaurant one night where they sell stuffed animals in the front of the restaurant. And I bought a stuffed animal. I think it was a rabbit. I didn't even really want it, but I had money left over, and I just wanted to spend the money for the hell of it. And my father, he knew me. He knew I wasn't into a little stuffed rabbit. He looks at me, with a quizzical expression. Are you sure you want to buy this? I go, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. He goes, all right. So I bought the rabbit, and I'm holding it in the back seat of the car, the Chrysler Newport, turquoise, 1967 Chrysler Newport. And I'm looking at the rabbit, and I was full of shame because I knew that there was something about that purchase that was just wrong. I just bought it just for the hell of it. And it reminds me, I've sold watches before. I'm a watch guy. I don't know if you know me or not. I'm totally into watches. So there have been times when I sold watches and I accumulated a lot of money from those sales. And what I should have done is just hold on to the money and wait until I was 100% sure that I had a holy grail to buy. But I ended up buying stuff that I kind of liked, that I was curious about it, just for the hell of it, because I had the money was there. I was like that little kid who bought that stuffed animal at a crappy chain restaurant and ended up flipping those watches. Money makes us crazy. It makes us insane. You read about NFL football players who 5 years after they retire, they're bankrupt. You read about people who win the lotto, 95% of them are bankrupt within 5 years. Money does something. It gets inside of us. It doesn't matter how smart you are. I'm still having nightmares about that girl screaming at me and cackling, over my humiliation at not having any money for the snack bar. Money makes us crazy. I think the most sane words I've ever heard about money come from an old Chinese expression. Let's see if I can remember it. Money is not everything, but not having money is unacceptable. That's perfect. I absolutely love that saying. There's sanity there. And there was nothing wrong with my family wanting to get the hell out of Flavette Projects and to go to the Royal Lanai Apartments. So I want to talk about money today. I hope this was helpful. It helped me. I'm still having nightmares over Kitty Carson teasing me. And until next time, I am out.